teach me to dance? Won't you teach me to dance? Why don't you teach
Today's
me?
DK Minute, we want to talk about rise and lower instead of rise and fall. Okay, so applying that concept of rising and lower as if you were flying and landing an airplane, when we begin to rise, you don't want to pop up on that first step. Now I have rise. I'm into my second step. I have nowhere to go. I'm going to roll around my axes. That will pull the foot in naturally, and then you want to come out, and typically what happens on the residual part is we come out and fall, collapse onto the floor. The first thing you want to do to avoid that is to separate your rise. When the airplane took off, it didn't take off like a rocket or a Harrier craft. It took off like an airplane. It took off in stages. It went here and then it continued to rise here until it got to whatever place it needed to be to make a turn or whatever. It doesn't go like that and then this. So I take that first step, and as the body moves past my leg, it begins to pull the foot off the floor. Well, that is indeed a rise right there. Now, you might read in the teacher's manuals and things like that a very technical term, commence to rise. That's too much book stuff for me. You just want to feel that the natural movement pulls the body or pulls the foot up off the floor. That is your rise. On your next step, you are continuing here to rise until you reach the point where the rise is exhausted and the movement goes someplace else. So practice that, even in a normal 3-step or wave. Here we have step, half rise, continue to rise, and lower, step, half rise, continue to rise, and lower. Once you get good at that, then of course you're going to want to be able to control your lowers. So just like the airplane, when the airplane is taking off, it's creating lift. And when the plane is landing, it's still creating lift. It doesn't decrease the lift or the plane will fall. Same thing with the body. Here we are creating lift. Now, in order to stop that plop onto the floor in our fall, we never say rise and fall, we say rise and lower. Yes, the body is in a free fall, but our feet and ankles are our landing gear. So here we are, we don't collapse onto the ground, we control the lower. Once the body now gets over the foot, then we release and continue. As in the case of a hover telemark, for example, you'll see rise, hover, and then not this, but rise, hover, and lower, move. Practice that. Yes, it takes really strong knees and ankles. But hey, that's the way it goes.